Happy Friday. I am really, really excited today because we have Mark DeBartolo with us. He is with Len Roofing and Remodeling. And, it's this time of year in spring when people are thinking of doing projects. And Mark is going to help us from getting ourselves in trouble. So,
Hopefully.
hopefully. So, let's talk about roofs. What are the most important factors about choosing a roofer? Because, they're all over. You got the guys knocking on your door, and give us some advice.
But that's a great question. Um, the the most important advice I think I could give is you should be have a really good communication with all the contractors you're getting bids from, really on roofing or anything. So provide as much information as possible. Years ago, people were afraid to give information. They thought the more information you give to the guy, he's going to overcharge you, and that's really not the case. If you have good, reputable contractors coming out, the more information you can provide as far as background information, what you know about the home, what you like, what you don't like, and what your goals are, just like you would with anything else, right? Like, what am I looking to accomplish? You know, you don't have to share the budget. It can be helpful. Ultimately, a good contractor is going to charge what he needs to charge to do the work properly, to do best practices. Um, Meet with them in person. I think that's very important. If your contractor or a roofer doesn't want to meet you in person, they just want to go out and send a bid, I think there's going to be a lot left to interpretation, and most homeowners just don't know, and you can get in trouble that way. So meet them at the home, have a conversation. It doesn't have to be hours or 2 hours or some hard, press sales, but
Mhm.
do I like this person? Can I work with this person? And most importantly, if there's a problem, I reach out to this person and expect that we'll have a conversation, and they'll be able to fix it. That's very important. And then make sure you get written, detailed estimates. 1 through 10. What are they going to do? What are they using? Nothing should be vague. Everything should be very, very specific. That way you can look and point at something like, you said you were going to use this. I need you to use that. What do things cost? Are you covering permits? Are you getting dumpsters? Sometimes contractors don't tell you that, and then, oh, by the way, you have to pay for the dumpster, you have to pay for the permit, and now I'm spending another six, seven, $800. So the more communication you can have up front, the more things get things in writing. Make sure you get copies of licenses, copies of insurance. You're going to pick a good contractor, because the guys that don't like to do that, they won't give you the bid. They won't show up. They won't call you, and that's not someone I would recommend working with. You're going to find 2 or 3 or 4 people who are going to do that for you, and you're going to get a good guy or girl.
Um, yeah. And with that said, that reminded me, I personally never contract someone for time and materials. I always go for project.
Correct. Yeah, and
Right.
and most full service companies would view it that way. Yeah, you like, just you want most homeowners want a full service. Please come and take care of it, soup to
Right.
nuts, right? Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about roofs for a minute.
Hmm.
So let's talk about an asphalt, a regular shingle roof.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are getting away from cedar shake because they're so expensive right now.
Yes.
Um, are roofs something you should have checked periodically? How long should a roof last? What should people be thinking about with their roofs?
You definitely should have a roof check periodically after it's over 10 years old. I would say in the first 10 years, we would refer to that as a young roof, and there really shouldn't be much maintenance, whether it's a natural product like wood or an asphalt product. Then after that, every few years, you absolutely should be checking it, or as the season changes, depending on where you live. You should at least look at it yourself. If you can observe something that doesn't look right, like, that something doesn't look right, something's bumping up or looks out of place. In general, a roof should be flat and level and even and straight. Um, and you could always call a professional. Hey, can you come out and check it? Maybe I need some caulking. Maybe I need something fixed. The roofs over time, once they're over 10 years old, will need some occasional maintenance. That way you can extend the life of the roof, and not have to replace it premature.
So that was my next question. Are there things that you can do with roofs where you can come in and replace some of the shingles or caulk or do some things
Yeah,
without?
we would call it preventative maintenance. Absolutely. There are definitely things you can do, um, to extend the life of the roof as long as it hasn't been neglected. If it's
Okay.
been neglected prior to you being in the
Right.
home, or
Right.
if you neglected it, it gets a lot harder, just like with anything else, to make a proper repair.
Right.
But we are willing to do plenty of repairs. We do plenty of repairs, and we're able to stop leaks, extend roof life. Um, and versus always having to be, oh, it needs to be replaced. That's not always the case. There are other alternatives.
So that's important. So people could call you, Mark, for a roof repair because some guys don't, they're like, hey, don't call me for a leak. I just do entire roof.
There's a good segment of roofing contractors that would tell you that,
Mhm.
probably 70%, maybe
Right.
a little more. There are fewer of us who are willing to do repairs. They're not as profitable, clearly, but those of us who are willing to do them, you build trust, and usually that customer calls me back to replace the roof, and
Right.
that's really how we view it, as another extension of service.
Okay. That's really good to know. Um, so are there any signs people should watch for with their roof? I mean, maybe you can give us a little bit about um,
Sure.
damming
Yeah.
and,
Yeah. I touched on some initially, but if anything looks out of place, again,
yes,
everything should be flat. Everything should be even and level. So if something is sliding or crooked, if something looks like it's missing,
missing.
or a lot of times things bump up, the wood or the surface under the roof can move,
Mm,
and then it can create bumping, curving, sometimes depressions. If
okay.
you find a piece of material in your backyard, if you find, when
Oh,
the where the water releases on the downspouts on the ground, if you find bits of roofing material, like that shouldn't be happening. Those would all be signs of failure, like something is starting to fail. Um,
okay.
Clearly, if you have a leak, but we would hope, we want to be a little more ahead of that. Once we have a leak, we have to fix the inside, and
Right,
and now we have
right.
we have bigger problems. But
And ice damming?
ice damming, yeah, unfortunately, there's not much we can do to
Prevent
predetermine.
it?
Yeah, well, there are things we can do to prevent it, but there's not much we can do to predetermine it. If you have areas of the home that tend to give you problems when the weather is bad, especially in, Midwest areas, you might want to look at heating elements, what we call heat cables. Not all roofers are willing to do them, but they are out there. I'm willing to do them, and they do focus in on trouble spots
Mm.
when winters are severe, to help slowly warm areas to help melt. Um, there are roof rakes. You have to be careful not to damage the roof. I don't recommend climbing up on a roof in the winter when it's full of snow and ice. It's extremely dangerous. We don't even like to do that. There are some melting agents you can throw up on a roof, um, in the
Okay.
winter time, and then look at how your home is insulated. That will help reduce ice damming. Look at how the home is ventilated, and if you're concerned about ice damming in general, the first step would probably be to call a contractor, whether it be an insulation contractor or a roofing contractor, and have them evaluate it and make some recommendations.
Okay, that's really good to know. That's great to know. So, so what else? Tell us, since we talked about roofs, I know you do a lot more than just roofing. So let's
We,
talk.
yeah, we do. We would focus on the exterior envelope of a home, mainly residential homes.
Okay.
Residential is probably about 90%. We do some small commercial or 3 flats or apartment buildings. So roofing, siding, and multiple types of siding: wood siding, vinyl siding, hardy board cement siding, composite siding, windows, and again, all forms of windows as far as what they're made of: wood, vinyl, aluminum, doors, custom sheet metal work, metal roofing, gutter work, soffit fascia trim work,
Okay.
custom, again,
Well, we lost you, Mark.
excuse me, I'm sorry,
That's
um,
okay.
skylights, pretty
Oh,
much,
okay.
yeah, skylights, anything having to do with the exterior envelope. And then we do some small light remodeling. So if your roof leaks and you would need to patch something or repair it, I have a crew that can be able to do that.
Okay.
If the roof that we did leaks, we can come in and fix the interior and the exterior.
Absolutely.
We hope it doesn't happen, but we have that capability. That way we don't have to farm it out or push the homeowner onto someone else. We can remodel a bathroom, redo a basement, trim work, everything, but not hardwood flooring, but tile, vinyl flooring, engineer flooring.
Okay.
Do
Okay.
a pretty wide scope.
And what I'm thinking too is if you put some windows in for somebody, sometime there's been damage to the interior. The reason they're getting windows is they've had leaking and mold and they got to replace the drywall and
Hmm.
paint. That is
Hmm.
something you could sort of
Yeah,
do the
we
whole
we could be
project.
a full service, correct, versus having to call. Okay, Mark can, do the windows, and I have to call Betsy to do the trim, and then I have
Right.
to call somebody else to paint it. That's cumbersome.
Right.
The more that we could package together, we think is better for the client.
That's great. And so, with that said, what really, I think I know what sets you apart, but let's talk about what sets you apart from your competitors here on the North Shore.
We really focus on communication and service, and we think that those are the key elements to make the project successful and make the customer happy. So we're in constant communication from the initial call, how we set up the appointment, we confirm the appointment, we show up for the appointment.
Okay, now, Mark, that
Yeah,
is huge.
yeah,
Anybody who has done a project
yeah,
knows just showing up is really,
yeah.
it's really huge.
Yeah, our tagline is "We show up on time and nail it." So we like to be on time. We like to show up.
And you nail
Communicate, and we nail it. We try to, yes, we nail everything. Lots of communication, lots of feedback, detailed estimates, and then follow up at the end. We don't just complete the project and ask for the payment. Did you like everything? Please let us know if there's something you need. Let us know if there's an issue. We're here. Um, I think I like service, and I think people really respond to service.
I agree. And I would say additionally that, Mark, you are right here in the community in the Northbrook Chamber.
Yes.
And correct, the Northbrook
Yes.
Chamber.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
And, so somebody who puts themselves out there and is out in the community, you're not hiding from your clients.
No.
You're right here. If they
No.
need you, they can find you over at Landmark or at school or someplace. You're
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah. We feel it's important to be part of the community. I mean, we live here, we work here, we participate here. So yeah, we
Right.
want people to be able to find us.
Right. Right. Which is
We're
a
not,
wonderful sign of someone you can trust if that
yeah.
you're not
Yeah.
hiding under some alias somewhere.
No, 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 no. Once the contractor goes away, you're never going to see him again.
And
That's
yeah,
not the
and I'm
case. Yeah.
sorry, some contractors are notoriously have that reputation where,
Yep.
oh, where are they?
Yeah.
They disappeared.
They
And
disappear. They disappear. They don't call back. They don't yeah.
yeah,
We
yes, I would say,
understand, there's delays in construction. That's the reality. But as long as we communicate that with the homeowner, we've never, ever had a problem.
yeah,
So
right.
yeah.
I would just say real quickly, my sister did some work in Florida, and it was your nightmare. The typical We don't know where the guy is. He doesn't show up. There's nobody at his house. He has our material. It
Right.
was ridiculous.
Yeah.
So,
And the goal is, you hope when you interview these contractors that you could, like, that guy's not going to, they're not going to do that to me, but unfortunately I hear that a lot.
well, I think
Yeah.
the fact that you live in the community and you participate in the community speaks well for you, because you're not going to just disappear in the night.
Yeah. Similar to a realtor, like it's important to be part of the community, not just no turning and burning, as we say in the
No
industry.
turning and burning,
No
right?
turning and burning.
We are here for the long haul to, like you said, participate with the community. Well, this has been great. This is such valuable information. It's going to be on my website. If anybody needs to get a hold of Mark, they can look for Len Roofing. They can go to the Northbrook Chamber, or they can certainly contact me.
Call Betsy, yeah.
And find the best guy in town. All right. Hey, everybody, have a great weekend. And
thank you, Betsy.
Don't party too hard tonight. It is a holiday.
Yeah. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Thanks for having me, Betsy. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. This was great. Bye now.
Bye.